Welcome to Box to Board. So today we have got Mr. James Baldwin from the Drowned Earth, and I believe you have a Kickstarter out there. The rumor is it's
That's
doing very
right. Yeah,
well.
the rumors are true.
Um, so Ulaya Chronicles. What was the thinking behind going for this at this point? What was what were you thinking about at the time?
Well, so for anyone who doesn't know, when we first met Andy, 3 years ago, I made a game called The Drowned Earth and launched it on Kickstarter, and we are still releasing models for that. And it's a more traditional one versus one war game. Ulaya Chronicles is set in the same world, the continent of Ulaya, which is the Drowned Earth is a whole planet, but we're focused on this one area in the Drowned Earth as game as well. Nobody knows what happens off the continent of Ulaya, but Ulaya Chronicles is a new. It's a standalone game, but it also acts as an expansion for and is kind of a sister game to the Drowned Earth. So the mechanics are very similar. Most of the mechanics are the same. There's some simplification going on because obviously we've now got artificial intelligence and enemies that are programmed by card decks that you're fighting against, and scenarios which are stringed together in a whole narrative story. So very much like an RPG or like a dungeon crawler style board game. And I think this probably has, it's definitely, you need tape measures and dice, and so it's definitely its DNA is war game, but there are a lot of board game elements in it. So that, for example, we're on a flat board with tiles. Free movement within those. The tiles are just terrain, and my hope is that a lot of people will make those tiles into 3D, terrain pieces, but that's up to you. There are standees in the box, and so you can get playing straight away, and you can slowly or very quickly replace those standees with miniatures if you want to do that. But you're not limited in your ability to play by assembling everything that comes in the box. That was the thinking behind that. And also, it's just, I know a lot of people will have models from the Drowned Earth already that they want to use, and so they don't necessarily want to have to buy a big expensive box full of things that partly they already own. So yeah,
I think the standees was actually a really good call, because I looked at it and I went, okay, so there's standees. So and then I looked at the price for the entry point, and actually it felt like a good entry point. And you could on the Kickstarter go a little bit deeper. I really like that, because so many Kickstarters just, you feel like this is a bit of a leap here. The amount of money involved, and it's a good price point. I think that's been really well.
Yeah, well, I definitely wanted to keep it under £45, and in the end we managed to keep it under 40. It'll be more expensive at retail, obviously, but I did everything I could to keep the price down, and so to make it as accessible as possible. And another option is, some people who maybe don't know anything about the Drowned Earth, don't have any models already, just want to give it a go before they decide whether they want to make the big investment of spending 50, 80, 100 quid on little metal dinosaurs. I mean, although who doesn't
awesome.
Really, but
they're awesome little metal dinosaurs. They are.
No, I'm really proud of them, obviously, but I know that not everybody is a miniature gamer, and a lot of people like the idea of miniatures games, but don't like the painting and the assembly and the multi-part models and that kind of thing. And so it's a bit of a turn off for some people, and for the rest of us, we've all got our pile of shame or cupboard of shame, where we buy these things with all these great intentions, and never end up playing them because we never get them assembled. And with Ulaya Chronicles, that's never going to be an issue.
It could be smaller after the lockdown, I suspect, for some people. Although my cupboard of shame is now more shameful because I've just not got around to it.
Right, yeah. You now don't have the excuse, and you've still got a cupboard of shame, I see.
Well, that's
on the Facebook community, it's been great actually. While one of the silver clouds of the situation we find ourselves in now is that we're getting huge amounts of pictures of people painting their models, and the Kickstarter seems to have been a sort of wake up for a lot of people who a lot of people have messaged me saying, I backed the first Kickstarter, really loved it. It was sitting in a cupboard until last week, and now all of a sudden I've now both got the time and got the enthusiasm, been reminded that I already own some of this stuff, and so while I'm waiting for my stuff to arrive from the new Kickstarter, I'm actually going to get on and paint the old stuff.
Yeah, and the models on the site that you can buy into are just, they're as ever just really lovely. I mean, and they've got the thing I like about the Drowned Earth is it's got its own feel. It's got its own aesthetic. The world itself, we were discussing earlier, is just different to other things, but not so weird that you kind of feel I can't engage with this.
Yeah,
it's fun. It's a lot of fun, actually.
Well, I think fun was definitely what I was going for. Fun, bright, and colourful. And I think there are a couple of things that I thought of while making the game. And one is that why is the post-apocalypse always a sort of wasteland desert? And the reason is because as a concept, it came up in the sort of 50s and 60s, where there was a lot of paranoia about the bomb and nuclear warfare and all of that kind of stuff. And so that's where all of that comes in. But nowadays we're not so scared of getting nuked. And also we've seen, after the disaster in Chernobyl, you see a nuclear disaster doesn't look like that either. It's all sort of overgrown and lush, and antelopes running wild. Some of them have got 4-5 legs, but apart from that, it's a sort of ideal place for wildlife. So just take that idea, times it by 10, and add dinosaurs, and you've got the Drowned Earth.
Yeah, it's a really it looks awesome. I mean, whenever you get a board of Drowned Earth out, you always get people, and I go to a club, and if it's out, people go around and go, "Ooh, what's that?" It's got that look. It does require a bit of setup. I think this is why board games are such a smart move. Is actually, if I fancy a quick game, I can set out a quick game. It's not going to take me hours to get the stuff together. It's there, bang, I'm going. I think that's so spot on, actually.
It all folds up flat and gets put away and doesn't take up much room.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And in terms of I have to say this because I'm so impressed with the original Kickstarter. You were bang on, actually ahead of schedule in getting things out. And there's so many Kickstarters that do not work like that. And I just want to say that in video because I think actually it's important for people to hear it. It is possible to be ahead.
It is, and it's a point that I don't want to stress too much, because a lot of people, I've got really generous supporters who are helping promote and who want to spread that enthusiasm, and who back the Kickstarter and telling everyone how great the last one was, and they're all like, and it was delivered a month early, and I'm like, shh, don't set people's expectations that's what I'm going to do every time. And in particular, last time was much more complicated in terms of the different amounts of components and things that we needed to assemble and package and that sort of thing. But it was all produced in Europe. This time, all of the miniatures and those sorts of components will, but the actual core box itself is a board game. And so you make board games in China. That's just the way it works. And so that requires shipping and, a month on a boat in a shipping container, and customs and, Chinese New Year and all of these other considerations that mean that the deadline really is to some degree out of your control. And so I sympathize why a lot of Kickstarters that have that kind of board game production pipeline, they can't promise that they'll deliver on time, because it's just not. Traditional board game companies don't actually announce a new release until the shipment is on the boat, and there's a reason for that, because they know how unpredictable the manufacturing processes. So, you know, I'll do my best with that,
Yeah.
and I built in some contingency. And we're only working with one company.
Yeah.
Rather than a number for the core box, and so luck and a fair wind, it'll all go smoothly. But yeah, I don't want to sort of set people's expectations that's just the signature of
No.
Allnet Games, is that we deliver a month early on Kickstarter.
But the other side of the coin is it actually shows a lot of the things that people like about the way you guys work, which is you genuinely care about your product, you care about the community, and it might go wrong, but actually look at all the other times, look at the times it goes right, and I know from some of the just watching things and seeing things, the way you deal with people is very, very good. So
well, I think the key point is probably that you can't guarantee that things won't go wrong, but if we're a bit late, it won't be because I couldn't be bothered to get my act together. It will definitely be because there's an actual reason, and so that, I think, is a level of confidence. And I think people that back on Kickstarter understand that, you know, that's the nature of the beast anyway. But some Kickstarters, when you see they've delivered hugely late, and you're like, yeah, just somewhere in this pipeline someone is not doing their job or doesn't care. And yeah, that's not going to happen on our side of things, definitely.
Brilliant. And you know, it's good just to acknowledge that from you know, from a player's point of view. It's brilliant. And it's yeah. Now, in terms of the Drowned Earth, is it, I mean, from conversation we've had, it seems to me that it's the development of this world, not the we're parking the Drowned Earth and then we're going to the Ulaya Chronicles. Quite different to that. It's actually an expansion of that world.
Exactly. So I mean, it's set in the same world. It's set at the same time. There's a lot of cross-pollination, that a lot of the dino models will be usable in both games. We'll be providing Kickstarter will be providing a bunch of profile cards for the Drowned Earth, and actually if we go to retail, then we'll do that as well. The box will come with both Drowned Earth and Kickstarter and Ulaya Chronicles profile cards, and we might even look at getting some existing Drowned Earth models into the Ulaya Chronicles idea. So it's an expansion to Drowned Earth in the sense that you can use the AI mechanics that run the dinos. So each dino type has a unique deck, and so their behaviors are all different to each other. So they are unpredictable but not random, I think, is the way that I'm describing it. They've all got their personalities and they do different things, but you won't always be able to anticipate, but you can make educated guesses about what they might do. And you'll be able to take that system and use it in competitive games of Drowned Earth. So you've got some neutral dinos in the middle, and you can try and find clever tactical ways to weaponize them. So, you know, there's a noise mechanic. So, for example, you can make noise and try and chase the dinos into your enemy. Things like that.
That's cool. So this is the AI dinosaurs bit that you mentioned at the end of the video.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, I understand that. It's that I'm saying, going, AI dinosaurs, this sounds terrifying, and it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But I have to say, it's been an absolute joy watching this game develop, and you know, and what we're watching this world develop, I suppose, is the best way to put it. It's been brilliant, and I know 23 minutes this one funded, which is we talked about before. That's just insane.
I was pretty surprised, I have to say. I wasn't expecting that.
It is a mark of the esteem your company's held in at the minute, and the loyalty of the people who play this game, that they love it. So please keep doing what you're doing, because we love it.
Yeah, I will. As long as I can, I definitely will. I love it too. Obviously, we have boring considerations like, you know, rent and food and things like that. But while it's all working, you know, financially, I'm definitely gonna keep doing it, because it's a great way to, you know, live your life, actually.
Yeah, it's been great chatting to you, James, and as ever, stay safe and well in these times. We have to say that. So
yeah, indeed.
I'm sure it's going to be. I'm watching very closely to see what happens. And some of those, who knows what stretch goals are going to come out. It's going to be amazing. But
well,
yeah,
people could check it out, can't they, to see what's.
yeah.
So at the moment, I think we're just about to unlock an extra scenario, and then after that, we're going to double print the board so that there's a flip side with a completely different map and a different environment. Even it's going to be underground, yeah. I mean, I guess if in the comments section you've got the URL to the Kickstarter, people can go and have a look and see where we are.
Yeah, I'll pop up some pictures from the Kickstarter as well, just as we underneath the
Right.
video bit, so people can see it. And thanks for chatting to us again.
Excellent. No,
and,
most welcome, Andy.
Good to see you. Bye bye.
Pleasure.